Robson, thanks so much for getting together and talking to us about New Relic's marketing.
Yeah, happy to have you here.
Robson, we believe savvy marketers are seeing great success when they bridge art and science in their marketing. Tell us how you're doing that at New Relic.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it, and I think it's where the sort of intersection of brand and things that are probably harder to measure in a modern digital world and highly measurable digital assets come into play. And so I think it comes down to thinking about what you want these different kinds of tools to do on your behalf. And so some advertising is going to be great to produce measurable results, click-throughs and direct responses, and other advertising and other marketing will produce second-order benefits like additional traffic to your website, more shoppers in Google, searching for your product. And so I think the balancing off the demands that you place on your marketing, I think, is really the key to blending art and science.
Tell us how the role of the CMO has changed over time. I know your role has changed quite a bit at various positions.
I guess it's probably dependent upon the type of company that you're in. In this kind of company, in a software company that's in growth mode, there's a lot of questions that the CMO faces that are about the traditional things like pure demand. Do we have enough leads to feed sales? But then there are a lot more questions around how we facilitate sales process and buyer process and where marketing and sales work together. So, and through the use of different tools like chat or in-product engagement. And so that becomes kind of a part of the CMO role. And then the big one, I think, is message and packaging. And message has kind of always been part of it. What does the company stand for? Why does it stand for that? But packaging, in putting together a product lineup that may be a little different than maybe was initially conceived of or invented, becomes a real asset in helping explain it. And whether that's in the form of just different kinds of pricing models or assemblies of new SKUs that are built out of new chunks of value, then I think it becomes a really different job.
Tell us how you are driving growth in your role here.
Growth is a numerical output that forces a mindset. I think that's so. That to me is those two things working together are why it remains important. And so in the process of always trying to go forward, you can't always have more resources and more people and more money and all those things. You have to find different ways to solve the problem. And so that builds a constant renewal thought process into how you attack marketing. And from my perspective, that makes marketers a lot more like software developers, in that we're running an agile system where we're constantly analyzing what works and doesn't work to try to make it all go faster, and to do so on the resource base we have today, or even less in the future, as a way to then find resources to deploy to other things.
Let's switch gears for a moment and talk about account-based marketing and how you've made that a part of your marketing mix.
We have really focused on trying to use it as a way to get alignment with sales. And so that really has been the most important sort of first step on it is, who are the targets, where are they in their life cycle with us, and what do we want them to do next, what do we want to do with them next, and where should we be taking them? And I think that's step one, as let's use it for alignment. Step two is then let's try to wrap the entire suite of programs around it. So it's not, account-based marketing isn't just the emails that you send to existing accounts. It's what events you go to and how you use those as a way to interact with the targets. It's the way that you program out the customer success engagement plan with them, and how you want that to achieve maturity goals with a customer. And so really it's thinking about it holistically versus as a sort of technology-driven tactic or two.
Tell us about intent data, how you are using intent data to identify audiences, and then how that informs the efforts that follow.
So intent data we use in the form of predictive scoring, where we're, like a lot of companies, we're scoring out the activities of the prospects we deal with and trying to use that as a way to determine what we think they would want to do next. I think our big focus right now with intent data is to try to use it to determine the next logical step in the consideration cycle versus use it as to try to just pick out who the best leads are to buy right now. And so we want to be able to use it to feed pipeline by identifying a customer has just done thing X, which means they're probably interested in a white paper or a webinar about a related topic. And so use it to facilitate the whole funnel, not just try to pick out the highest quality leads and sell those.
Do you believe culture leads marketing or marketing leads culture?
I guess I'm slightly leery of marketing cultures. I think company cultures need to be aligned around the kinds of customers that we are serving and the reasons why we think what we do matters to them. And so we're probably more focused right now on our overall company culture than our marketing culture, because I think we want we want product, marketing, sales to all to be in alignment around the kind of company we're trying to be.
When you think about your content marketing efforts, what challenges do you have?
I think the number one challenge is making sure that we are matching up the right piece of content to the right part of the cycle that a customer's in. That sort of forces us to need to be situationally aware, like you were asking about the earlier question about predictive analytics and trying to understand behaviors. Where is the customer now? And then it's building the right content for that stage. And content is a big word that can mean it can mean videos and white papers, but also it can mean RFP templates and more functional assets like that. And so I think if we understand where the customer is, then we can open our minds in terms of what types of things we'll want to make. And so that's probably challenge number 2: is have we exhausted all of the ideas of what might be useful to a company, or because I think a lot of content marketers get stuck in, they make blog posts and white papers, and there's a lot more that goes into a purchase, especially a big enterprise purchase, than those two things.